힘들어.
I used to think that we Bhutanese always pride ourselves as having a highly gender egalitarian society. I think that is true to some extent due to strong spirits of a majority of our women. However, on deeper observation, I now realize that we have been just ignorant of how much our women contribute to our nation building through endless unpaid works and how some of them have been suffering silently through generations.
There is no doubt that Bhutanese women in general are experiencing far better lives today. In comparison, I keep hearing from my own parents and elderlies about how difficult their lives were just a few decades ago.
Tengangat phamsu ben ngothabese wudu yatha la bego alu chisuni shuki anbe namsema ka uchichi gobe
ano 7 वर्षको उमेरदेखि लिएर 9 वर्ष 10 वर्ष 15 वर्ष को हुन्जेली गर्छ 15 वर्षको भयो भने एकदमै बुढो भयो भने त्यो पहिला बिहे गर्दाखेरि त्यो बिहे गरेर अर्का घर जान्थ्यो नानीको उमेरमा दुख पाउँथ्यो
देंगा च आमच दुससे गाले ते यिप्तिचिर छिमना नेबे देनी मेथबला दिचरा ते 추어 저거 들레 노초일로 싱투아 저거로 들레 타나랑기 알로로 옴치라 레shum베 지니게 디체메톱라
니들라고 자민기고 염납바 트루니라 트루카메라 토니 추어 엄청 남다고 소소 트룬 한데네고 너고 토면이 추 니우니라 옥사 디니 이 옥사 길레점플 아빠 이비기스라 한다부기라라 마스와니 이비페라 마스와니
포게스 속인 데코라 가와치 메 마가와친 아파카세 미투베 데세마투 다라 아이디 루카네 남세메 보모메 알루다 칸니
거기 차샵로 다 팀디 다지 양수 좀지에 때때 처음에서 순이라 때때 프로젝트 카톨레 때다 우리 가자 다들로 답도 못데 때 엄수비 비로 다로 지조자베 베메레 팀기 넘로 베로데 때때는 나하나데 접대 베스 주레데 올람디 때 야톤 때 봄지데지 때 마원 또 마피부치치투 다네베 베병알레 때다 주탕주라 때다 네바디 때다 알루디다 때 아유리 임베스 슈니라
니마 비어 친디디 남사베가 우체메 람투디스 이칼칼로 때 거치모스 와친 랭카 디스 볼로카니
अब आफ्नो नानी पाउने छ भने गाउँमा हस्पिटल देखेर थिएन हामी आउनु पर्थ्यो 90 किलोमिटर बजारमा हस्पिटलमा आइपुग्दाखेरि 90 किलोमिटर हो हाम्रो गाउँबाट
ngachi phame kap duludi te alu khago be ke nimela te kathapse minula tera khamchi ke sub alu chungi chusu ke ruke nganga thutu ke ruke tera khago be ke subra ke nimede te boda yalu chididi te so sube yalu chididi shiume tela te thare bengala alulu shinigi teme shike mi aye te alu ke nyigi shisi se te belamnera mi la ta khara ke te khara puluju te ngachi ga ajiri muchige te ngachi ge mi se solo te kalo bom naila kalo zambara nai te tangacha zase namisame ge zase mambe chini meu te zase de kanim nyunyu chi se mi solo ko ma tu ko na te men ka them te ka ngachi go na la ka bere te men ka them te ka tu so ke chole sha tu de ngale te alu ke re ka ke ti chi ne jinga wo mi da
너처럼 아무도 막 비슷한 카체로 이게 되고 마음을 먹고 돌아서라 같이 와서 남사리 치치 같은 있었다 그래치는 답도 하고 그래는 이제 포기니까 아무도 소소 주긴 거지 그래서 저래라 우리 수어져 따지죠 나리 아니 수레도 다 무슨 것이 아무튼 해서 친구가 너무 맛있게 되더니 내가 내 몸라니 준비했을 수잖아
포기 장치는 맨날 저어디 암쪽에 마누디디 아치치 포자로 만동라 다 친나 전접에 다니 슈가베 디미트조 다 마음라 포자티스 마도 지시그라 암치조 임즈메 탐마나
केटी उमेर सानो हुन्थ्यो बुद्धि पुग्दैन थियो अनि कुट्नु यस्तो गर्थ्यो नि त बुढाले घरमा आएर चाहिँ अब कुट्नु कति काम गरेर दुःख पाएर गलेको हुन्थ्यो बुढा उता गएर के अरे अर्को केटीसँग लागेर आयो के अरे घरमा न्यु खोज्यो बुढीलाई कुट्यो अनि हो त्यो भएपछि अब सबै थोक घरको काम पनि बुढीले गर्दाखेरि त्यति हो भएर दुःख हुन्थ्यो र सर अहिले आमाले बुझ्दा
ngacha am siti tap made budi khachi mo se achin ngacha regi dra di ngorangi luluta di yuni digi dra zukha bakti di ni digi te pha kumthe ji go isa khara judi besa chere te nekha du se sudala
ta ke phoja begale khoru kachira beru kachira kate jodi beru ta jimi ki khata tim be mi mindo tenga cham swichi bele tin ta chikhale jo kachi la chungu chira jusore ruki khata tim be me. While the COVID-19 incidentally banned social gathering of clubs, karaoke and dryans, still then the risk of STD remains high if preventive measures and advocacy is not undertaken. I heard that one of the most common problem of family fluid are husband spending money on alcohol while their kids and wife remain almost hungry at home. I think the COVID-19 is a case where we have learned clearly that we have not done enough. For instance, we have read in the newspaper that the domestic violence cases have been increasing. Then we have to consider that many women must have been suffering silently, not reporting their cases.
Stories of hardships are very normal to hear, but it is good that we are at least in Bhutan, where we are ruled by very far-sighted kings who ensures very stable government for its people and us women.
Otherwise, when I look at the situations of other countries such as Middle East, I feel so sad for women's conditions in these countries.
We have now developed an accelerated mother and child health policy to address the health of both the mother and child, to ensure a healthy mother and a healthy child, and ultimately healthy adolescent population who will contribute as healthy adults for a healthy nation. We have another program, the Adolescent Health Program, that looks at adolescent sensitive issues like adolescents' nutrition, sexual and reproductive health needs, and mental health issues of the adolescent. All these informations will be very useful for us to address the issues related to the violence against women.
I think today most Bhutanese people understand the issues of domestic violence. This has been possible due to the efforts put in by various government agencies like the Ministry of Health, the Ministry of Education, NCWC, and NGOs like Renew.
In Bhutan, one of the key challenges is the very low representation of women in decision-making roles, be it in politics, in governance, or in leadership. It is important that women are involved in the decision-making process and not merely treated as beneficiaries. The National Key Result Area 10 of the 12th Five-Year Plan clearly reflects the Sustainable Development Goal 5, which is on gender equality and empowerment of women and girls, and it has very clear targets on preventing and eliminating gender-based violence. While it will take a long time for gender parity and gender equality to be achieved, especially in the areas of decision making, in the areas of economic empowerment, and also in the areas of the elimination of gender-based violence, the fight must go on and all the service providers need to act together.
When I first saw this book, I was just captured by the images, but like actually taking time to read the stories, like it's taken me on a whole roller coaster of emotions.
You know what hit me the most was about the child marriage. I kept reading it and it's hard to believe that this is actually non-fiction, it sounds reality.
Sad, but it's most disheartening. The Penal Code of Bhutan has been amending so many laws, but despite the fact the girls are still lacking.
And to think like Bhutan has come so far, especially with our development progress, but the fact that these problems, these issues are still a problem to this day.
Right? There's always new problems arising. So I think one of the serious problems you see today in this day is social media. So people meet online and they develop a relationship there, right? That you don't even meet them in person, you don't even have to meet them in person. And then I think when they do meet them in person, I guess they turn out to be really different. So I think majority of women go through that problem.
You're right, like, as you said, like, development brings like new problems as well. And, even as a country, like, we have like our government agencies and like organizations like Renew, like advocating for women's rights. But at the end of the day, it's still up to the women to speak up for themselves. You have a platform, but if there are no speakers on it, like, you can't do much. So I think as a nation, we still have a long way to go.
With gross national happiness concept as a guiding principles, Bhutan is known to have most progressive policies and legislations with regard to rights and protection of women and girls and children. Yet we see heartbreaking stories of violence against women and children repeating over and over again. Therefore, we can not be complacent, but ask ourselves, remind ourselves, challenge ourselves, why are these stories not getting old, and how each one of us help not to hear these stories. It boils down to the mindset, the attitude of each one of us towards the social issues. This clearly shows we need to do a lot before we realize our goal to have a just, equitable, and happy family in a society. So Renew commits to continue working with the community people at the grassroots through education and information, under the benevolent leadership of Her Majesty Gerim Sagichori Monchuk, and of course support from national and international partners.